very special video. Today we are celebrating 10 years of LiveG. A decade ago we came up with the core idea that technology should be built for everyone. That means that it should be user-friendly, it shouldn't be a hindrance to users either, it should be fully accessible, transparent, and also built to last. We've been working towards that mission for the past decade, and we are still very much on our way to building platforms which meet our criteria, but we are very proud of how far we've come over recent years. And today we are actually going to be celebrating 10 years of LiveG with a brand new release of LiveG OS version 0.3 alpha, which we are calling our 10th anniversary edition. Today we are actually going to be talking about so many features that we've added to LiveG OS. No wonder it's taken us a whole year to develop this new version, but we think that the features that we've added are going to be something that you will love. So we are glad to be sharing that today. The headline feature of LiveG OS version 0.3 is the new Linux app integration. We already have support for a plethora of apps through our support for progressive web apps, which are apps which can run on a variety of platforms as well as LiveG OS. The main thing you'll notice with the new Linux app integration is the brand new terminal app, which has been added to LiveG OS. And that allows you to run Linux commands just like on any other platform that runs Linux or is POSIX based. But our support goes much further than just the command line, because you can now run graphical Linux apps in LiveG OS as well. So you can run your favourite apps such as VLC, Visual Studio Code, OpenSCAD. I mean, that is just the tip of the iceberg with what you can run now in LiveG OS, and it makes LiveG OS a lot more capable and ideal for so many more users. We're really proud to be sharing the new feature. We're actually now going to show you a little demo of Linux app integration, just to show you what it's like running this on actual real hardware, running LiveG OS. Okay, here we are at my laptop, which is running LiveG OS version 0.3. I'm now going to show you a bit about Linux app integration. You'll notice from the start the new terminal app, and from here we can run Linux commands, such as commands to view your files, for example, and you will see under my user account something very familiar to Linux users with the directory structure and whatnot. It's not a whole lot to show you in the terminal app, other than we can run some classic commands such as htop to view the processes which are running on my laptop right now. We can also run cmatrix, which is also a very classic demonstration program. This can actually be quite a stress test, as some terminal emulators are unable to handle all this graphics happening at once. I know with G Shell early on we experienced a lot of performance issues with running things such as cmatrix in the terminal app, but we've fixed that, and as you can see it runs quite quickly, and I think we can change the speed. There we go, there it is running really fast, and we can press R for rainbow mode as well, which again is quite a bit of a stress test. The terminal app is also available on a phone, so this is my Pine phone, which is running LiveG OS as well, and we can go into the terminal, and as you'll be able to see, it is a very similar situation. We can hold down our finger here to open the soft keyboard, and of course we can run commands. It's certainly a bit trickier typing in commands on the phone, but yeah, no, as you can see it does work really well, and that is integrated with the rest of LiveG OS. Moving back to my laptop now, I will show you some of the graphical Linux apps, which can also run on mobile, but is a lot trickier because a lot of Linux apps are only designed for desktop usage. A classic app which gets used a lot for a lot of Linux developers is Visual Studio Code. I in fact use my laptop running LiveG OS as my main laptop computer to take on the go, and it is fantastic being able to run apps such as Visual Studio Code within LiveG OS because I can now use LiveG OS pretty much full time on my laptop. We can navigate through menus. It can be a bit buggy, but if we just open a folder here, we can find G Shell and we can look inside it. It can take a bit of time for some Linux apps to do their thing. I will demonstrate in the meantime a few other Linux apps which run. I think I've got GLX gears on here. No, I don't. I'm not sure if we can install that by going sudo apt install GLX gears. I think that's possible. I can't remember the package which contains that, but you can run the GLX gears. Another demo which I can show you is GTK3 Widget Factory, which shows you that GTK apps are usable within LiveG OS. And this is actually themed to look a bit like our Adapt UI design language, and it works very similar to other operating systems which run Linux applications. You can use the file picker, for instance. Here we go. Visual Studio Code has decided that it will now switch to G Shell, and I will just demonstrate to you that as a developer of LiveG OS, I can actually write some code for G Shell within LiveG OS itself, which is really cool. It does take a bit of time for the simulator environment to start up, but yeah, we can browse some code. Let's just bring up some code here, and you can see it's not too bad in terms of performance. You can code pretty easily on LiveG OS. It's really good. So that is cool. There are still a few small performance things that we need to tune up with the graphical Linux application support, but yeah, no, as you can see, it is pretty usable in its state. And here I am actually running G Shell within G Shell itself, and this is what we can use to basically develop LiveG OS. So yeah, that is it in terms of Linux app integration I want to show you, but yeah, we'll continue with the rest of the video now. So you've seen a lot more about Linux app integration in LiveG OS, and we hope that that is something that you're very excited about. That is not the only feature in LiveG OS that we are sharing with you today though, because we've now got a few new productivity apps which are now native apps which you can run in LiveG OS, which we think are pretty cool. The two apps that we have now introduced are the Files app and the Calculator app. These are apps which are can be seen on so many other operating systems, desktop or mobile, and we're glad that LiveG OS now has those features because it brings us closer to having a fully fledged operating system. The new Files app is basically a file manager within LiveG OS, which allows you to browse all your files and find what you need in your device. It runs on both desktop and mobile devices, and it's very simple to use. It's, again, very similar to that found in other operating systems, but is actually a web app which takes advantage of some of the APIs which LiveG OS exposes, and it is something which can also run on desktop. So we hope to expand our Files app for cloud solutions in the future. Now time for a little demo of the Files app, just to show you what it is like. Okay, so I am back at my LiveG OS laptop, and I will show you the Files app. And as you can see, it is listing the folders inside my computer. I can go into the users folder, which is LiveG OS's convention for the user folder, and I can go into my profile. And I don't have much really to show you in terms of files on here, other than that I can browse the code that I write, for example for G Shell. Let's go into Shell, for example, and this is a bunch of folders mixed in with a few HTML and JavaScript files. You can also display not just the name and the type of file, but you can also display the size and the last modified. Although do keep in mind that this information is only available for files and not folders for the time being. But yeah, otherwise you can browse folders. Let's go into, where's the system folder? There you go, there's a few JavaScript files, and we can also sort our files by, let's go size, so we're going from smallest file to the largest file. We can sort that by descending order as well, so the largest file is at the top, and the same for last modified as well. So yes, they are all good features as part of the Files app. There's still a lot to go with the Files app. You can't actually open the files yet, and you can't do common file operations either, such as renaming them or moving them. Yeah, otherwise it is quite an early example of the Files app in LiveG OS and what you can do with it already. So now you've seen a bit about the Files app, let's talk a bit about the new Calculator app as well. We believe that our Calculator app is the most advanced built-in calculator app of any operating system. It is quite a big claim to make, but when you see the Calculator app, you'll see what it can actually do. We've got plans to expand our Calculator app beyond the features that we've already added as well. But we think that the features that we've added for this release will definitely be very useful for a variety of disciplines within the world of maths. So we are now going to show you a bit about the Calculator app. Okay, I'm now going to show you the Calculator app within LiveG OS. I'm actually going to show it first on my phone here, and as you can see, the calculator loads pretty well, and we can do the basic operations. Let's go 1 + 2 + 3, and if I press the equals button, it gives us the result. So it works like just any other mobile calculator application, but we can also do some operations which look much better on the LiveG OS calculator app compared to other operating systems calculator apps. So for example, we can do fractions on here, which, yes, you can divide numbers on other apps, on other phones, but here you can see that it actually shows your expression in a more visual, natural maths format. We've also got a plethora of different operations and functions within the Calculator app, which are a bit easier to demonstrate on desktop purely because you've got more screen space, but they are just as capable on a phone as well. So for instance, I can type in a summation expression, and where's the square button? There we go, and that gives us the result. So I'll now demonstrate the Calculator app on my laptop here, and it is very similar, except for it looks a bit better, so that it can accommodate the screen size. And the Calculator app also does appear just like it does on mobile if you resize it like this, but as you can see, we can take advantage of all the screen space that we've got. So we've got the typical operations. You can type in sine of 5 and it will give you the result. We can see that the result is in radians right now, but we can change that to degrees, radians, gradians, or revolutions. So I will change that to degrees. And I think if my maths memory serves me correctly, we can type in a fraction such as pi over 2. And again, as you can see, it looks very much like you would how you'd write it down on a notebook. And that will give you the results just like that. You can do hyperbolic functions as well. And you can do the inverse, so a sine of 0.5 is 30 degrees. If we just clear this and type in a sine of, I don't know, pi over 2 again, and change it to radians, we should get, oh, I'm incorrect with my maths. But as you can see, this is a very good opportunity to show you that the calculator app supports imaginary numbers. So the square root of -1 is I, of course, which stands for the imaginary number. I'm not going to delve into too much about what imaginary numbers are, except for that is something which is supported in the calculator app. You can also do evaluation of calculus functions, so we can type in a derivative. Let's go 3x squared plus 2x plus 5. And let's say we are trying to calculate the derivative, or essentially the gradient, of a curve with the equation y equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 at the point where x equals, let's say, 10. And it gives you a result just like that. Same with the second derivative as well. You're essentially looking at the rate of change with the gradient on a graph. You can also do integrals as well. So what is x squared, the integral from 1 to 10, and that gives us a result which is close enough. It's not completely accurate right now, but yeah, I think it should be 333, but because it uses approximations, it's the result might not always be accurate, and that error can increase depending on, say, the power that you use. You can also do logic operations. So if we change the format to be binary, and we change the bit width to be 32 bits, let's say, we can actually type in binary number. I think I have to switch the base here, and type in, let's say, what is 1101101 and 11101, and that will give you the result just like that. And again, we can change the format to, let's say, hexadecimal, and that gives you the hexadecimal value, or back to the decimal scientific option, which allows for a floating point, and that's 89. And we can choose this base option to show and hide the letters that you use in hex numbers. So yeah, that is about it for the calculator app within LiveGOS. We're now going to talk a bit about some of the new localization support within LiveGOS, which truly makes LiveGOS technology that is built for everyone. Alongside our existing support for the French language in LiveGOS, alongside, of course, the default English support, we are proud to announce that we are adding support for the Catalan language. Support has been added by one of the members of our LiveG contributors community, Eloy Torrens, who has been working so hard to add support for the Catalan language. And we'd like to thank them so much, because it's great seeing contributions from people who stumble upon LiveG and our projects, and it's really cool to see new people getting involved with working towards our core mission. And now I'd like to talk about accessibility in LiveGOS and our new support for a few assistive technologies that we have added to the operating system, which makes LiveGOS a lot more usable for people who are blind or visually impaired. Our new screen reader, Readout Navigation, announces text which is shown on screen using speech synthesis, which makes it easy to navigate around LiveG without having to rely on visual information. In other words, it makes LiveG possible to navigate without even having to use your eyes. You simply have to rely on audio cues and spoken feedback, or in the case of using a refreshable braille display, tactile feedback instead. Let's give you a little demo about how Readout Navigation works. Alright, so as you might be able to see in the bottom corner of my display, we have a little window, and this is a part of Readout Navigation, which, as I had said, is a screen reader which is part of LiveG. And as you will see in a second, my computer is going to make a lot of different noises, and it's going to speak out a bunch of different text. And this, as you will be able to see, is how you can control your computer without even having to look at the screen. I have a video camera here which is going to capture my keyboard, because when using Readout Navigation, the keyboard is essentially the main means of input here. You could use the mouse as well, but for blind and visually impaired users, it's generally popular to use the keyboard as it's much easier to navigate the system. So as I hold down caps lock here and press an arrow key, you'll see on my screen that there's a little focus ring around the currently selected item. So if I press the right button,
toggle app switcher button,
you can see that it has basically read out a description of the next selected item. And if I press left,
menu button,
it tells us that we are currently selecting the button for opening the app menu. So if I press the caps lock button and space at the same time,
search for anything,
you can see that it's already opened the app menu. And if you are listening without looking at the screen, you should know with the search box focused that you can now start typing in anything such as an app. So I will do that now by typing in Sphere.
S-P-H-E-R-E.
As you can see, as I type on the keyboard, it actually reads out each letter that I'm typing. If I press space,
Sphere,
it then reads out the last word that I typed. And if I press backspace, it will delete the last character, of course, but it will also speak out what character that was. So if I press space, nothing happens because it is a blank character. But if I press the backspace key again,
E-R-E-H-P-S,
and it's reading in a low voice each letter that I've deleted, so that you know what state the thing you are typing in, what it says. I'll hold down caps lock again and press the
Review
right arrow.
button, alphabetical view, power options, settings, sphere button,
And I will open Sphere by pressing the space bar while holding down caps lock. And Sphere has opened. We do need to work a bit on making it obvious that an app has launched, for example. We need to add more spoken cues, but that is something for the future.
open Readout Navigation settings, open options,
And we're now going to focus into
battery
Sphere,
charging 1945, LiveG search button,
and that is our tab
close tab,
button.
new tab button, minimize, maximize button,
I'm going to maximise this actually so that you can get a better view of what's
button.
happening.
close button, back, forward, reload, HTTPS, search LiveG tech, web address input,
So we are now going to type in a web address.
H,
So
K, HTTPS, search LiveG
we need to
tech,
press
web address input,
space to focus it. But now, without holding the caps lock, I can type in text. So
HTTPS /OpenSOURC full stop LRVG full stop TECH/ADAD -T -UI/DEMOS/ALL
And now I can press enter to visit that. You can see visually that it's loaded the page. We will find out now orders through audio by
Open menu button.
tapping
Enter
to the
context. To return to the main context, press caps lock and escape.
So that means that we've now entered the context of the web page. So we're not focusing on elements outside the web page, such as the app bar at the bottom here. We can't reach them right now using the arrow keys only. Instead, we hold down caps lock and escape.
Exited context.
And as you can see, we've now focused on the app bar. I'm going to go back into the context again.
Open up. Entered context. To return to the main context.
And now I can
press
browse
caps lock
the web
and
page.
enter tab to live demo. Example, this is a sidebar. Home, about, sign in, sign up, section. All your icon, testing all as you can see. There's a lot, so many there's loads, as you can see, extras. Primary button, secondary button.
So you might have noticed that actually there are sound effects which get played out when you navigate the system as well. Those are actually called earcons in the industry, and they essentially act as auditory icons. You'll hear a little ding noise when we focus a button.
Primary button, secondary button.
And that ding button basically tells us what we're focused on is a button, and we can click on it to do another action, such as
this is a menu. Button.
Opening menu.
Down, up, more image, more menus. It can pop out of things. Image. This is a menu.
Like that.
Escape. Adapt to live.
And I will return back to where we are. Again, it would be ideal if it went back, but
go to another screen. Button.
Now, if I focus on a text input, it sounds like a click, 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 really quickly.
Text input, primary. Text input, text input.
There it was.
Primary.
And again, that is just a quick feedback to tell you that you're focused on something that you can type in text into.
A-E-L-L-O, exclamation mark. Text input, text in selection input.
For a selection input, like a drop down, it makes quite a nice little noise.
The default option, drop down input, selection input.
And we can open that.
The default option down. The third, last but the default option,
Like that.
SK, the default option, text input
Cool.
area. Slap through pop text inside the input. 33, slap progress bar result. Tick or check this out.
And yeah,
Tick box input.
there's another
Box.
icon
Check
for
this out. Check this out.
checkboxes.
Tick or choose one. Tick you can leave. Ray desktop. Ray mobile. Smart connect. Scope. I'm an option.
So yeah, that's about it in
About
terms
this
of
option. Button. Enter mobile smart
readout navigation.
Settings. Network connected to the
We can turn it on and off
Customized visual.
in accessibility, readout navigation,
Turn
and there we
readout
go.
navigation is off.
Excellent, and we will now move on to the next bit. Now, I mentioned earlier about Linux app integration in LiveG, which makes the operating system open for developers to use their tools, their IDEs, to develop apps within LiveG itself, which is really cool. We've also added a new feature to LiveG called Web Investigator, which is a part of Sphere, which allows you to basically debug and inspect web pages, and it can help with the development of web apps. With Web Investigator, you can traverse the DOM, you can select elements on screen, and you can execute JavaScript in the REPL, and it will actually give you the feedback in a rich format. So you can basically break down complex objects and class instances, for example, or JSON data really easily within Web Investigator, and it's just such a nice experience which we think developers are going to love. Let's have a quick demo of Web Investigator and how it works within Sphere. Okay, here I am in Sphere, and I'm just going to go to a web page. Let's go for LiveG OS page. Yeah, let's just do this page here. very fitting. And yeah, as you can see, we've got the page open in Sphere. Now, if we go into the menu, you'll see that there is this Open Web Investigator button. And this opens another window where we can essentially inspect this page. So if I type in document.body, we then get information on the tree or the DOM of this page. And as you can see, we can click through it, and we're currently looking at the HTML heading node for this element right here. So yes, very useful for looking at the structure of HTML. We can also select an element by clicking on this button, and then when we go back to Sphere and move our mouse, it actually draws a little rectangle around an element that we can click on. So let's find a suitable element. Let's just go for this paragraph here. You click on it, and as you can see in our console, it actually then shows us the element that we've clicked down here, and there is the text of the element that we clicked on. From here we can go text content dot length, and that returns 307, which is the number of characters in this paragraph right here. This is just a standard JavaScript console, so I can go document.query, select all paragraphs, for instance, and that gives us a node list. And here's a list of paragraphs which appear on the web page. We could even modify elements on here, so if we click on this heading, we can also change the style of it. Color equals red, and there we go, it's in red now. So yeah, it's quite basic at the moment in terms of what you can do, but already it can be very useful for diagnosing tricky problems on a web page. Just to give you a few examples of some of the other cool things it can do is if we accidentally have something which throws an error, so for a new type error, something bad happened, it then shows you that error in the console just like that. I can't really think of any pages on the LiveG website which throw errors, but yeah, it does show you errors which occur. Let's go to, I bet Google has a lot of errors on its page. Oh, surprisingly it doesn't. Let's think of another website, .com. No, it's still nothing, provided we can still actually interact with the page. Clearly every website seems to be perfect. Open source, let's go to LiveG. I went to a random page there, it's meant to be search.liveg.tech rather. I don't think there's any errors on here either. But yeah, no, if you do get an error where it can be attributed to a certain JavaScript file, it will tell you what file that error belongs to, which is really useful when debugging stuff that occurs. Yeah, so you can do console.error, console.warn, and those are the types of errors that you do get. We can also take a look at large objects. I think window might take a long time to load. Let's go document. Anything under there? Yes. As you can see, any objects in JavaScript you can explore in an interactive way as well. But yeah, that's about it to show you with Web Investigator. If a website disappears or crashes, you do get a message as well, which is nice. Now let's briefly talk about some of the little features that have been added to LiveGOS, which makes life much easier in many aspects. The first big little feature in LiveGOS is our new support for the Raspberry Pi 5. We've already added support for the Raspberry Pi 4, as well as a host of so many other platforms, but LiveGOS version 0.2 did not work on the Raspberry Pi 5, but that's now changing in our brand new release. Another new little feature that we've now added to LiveGOS is support for web serial and web USB APIs, which allows web apps to connect to devices over USB and allow them to communicate. It's really useful for programming little microcontrollers using the web app, and outside of that use case there are so many other connected devices, such as with the Internet of Things, which you can access over USB. And it's just such a nice little feature to LiveGOS, which we are really glad to have implemented now. We've also added support for multi-monitor setups on desktop computers. This is very basic support in LiveGOS right now, but it is very much usable. You can drag windows across screens, which is really cool. But we are hoping to expand upon this feature in time for the next release of LiveGOS, so it's a lot more usable and customizable as well. Another little thing that we've added to LiveGOS is support for EFI or UEFI systems in LiveGOS, which allows you to boot the system on many different computers. I have a framework laptop myself, and it relies on UEFI for booting, and it's great to now be able to boot LiveGOS using UEFI. We've also added better support for ARM64 devices in LiveGOS and improved the support there so that you can boot it on more devices as well. And finally, a very small but very useful feature in LiveGOS is we've added custom mouse cursors, which makes using your mouse much easier on a variety of displays, such as high DPI displays. It also means that the cursor is able to dynamically show and hide on a touchscreen, such as on mobile. So if you plug a mouse into a phone which runs LiveGOS, a little mouse pointer will appear on the screen, and it will disappear again when you touch the screen again. So it's a very cool little feature there. So that's about it for all the features that we've added to LiveGOS, which we think you will love. It's now time to talk a bit about some of our plans for the year ahead, and also for the next release of LiveGOS. The first plan that we have is to make LiveGOS a lot more usable on mobile and to make it basically a world-class mobile operating system. I know that is something that we did promise for this release of LiveGOS, but we of course focused more on our Linux app integration, which we thought it would impact a lot more people in a very positive way. So we're hoping for the next release of LiveGOS to include more mobile features, such as phone calls, SMS texting, and browsing the internet using cellular data. Those are features that we'd love to add to make LiveGOS on mobile a much cooler platform to use. Another plan that we're hoping to meet for the year ahead is to expand LiveG Search to make it a much more usable search engine and for it to index more of the open web. We believe that LiveG Search has such a good algorithm already for searching content, even on our small data set that we've currently got deployed right now. But we would love to scale up our efforts at crawling the web to make LiveG Search a lot more of a useful platform. And finally, we'd love to build some more tools which will really help our contributors' community to thrive. As you heard earlier, we had a contributor translate LiveGOS all into Catalan, which is very cool. But we do know that it is quite a process of manually fiddling with JSON localization files. So to that end, we are going to be developing a online web-based user interface where you can easily look at the current strings within LiveGOS and translate them to another language that you know. We're also hoping to introduce some policy changes to make our contributors community really grow, and we hope that the changes that we'll make will be able to give better recognition to some of the contributions that our contributors have made, and to basically organise our community so it is better structured to support growth. So that's about it for this video. We hope you enjoyed our 10th birthday celebrations. If you'd like to learn more about some of the new features that we've added to LiveGOS, and if you'd like to try out LiveGOS for yourself, you can head over to our website at liveg.tech/birthday. You can also follow us on social media. All the links are on our website. You can also join the LiveG contributors community as well on Discord. Again, you will find a link on our website. If you'd like to donate to LiveG to allow us to further support our community and grow, and also be able to build hardware projects as well, that is something that we're interested in doing, you can donate to us at our Open Collective. The link is shown on screen now. But otherwise, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and we hope to see you next time, whether that be in a year's time for our next birthday or for our next release of LiveGOS. Until then, we'd like to thank you again for watching, and we hope to see you soon.